This was a way of drinking wine that no pervert could imagine. Girls were made into terrariums. Then their body were filled with wine, improving the taste of wine through continuous walking. They even let beautiful women be vivisection as entertainment, in order to satisfy the perverted desires of the chaebols. And it was Gatling, queen of the underground, who controlled it all. She ordered to the subordinate from the screen and said, "Let's start." Immediately after, a man took a syringe, injected with blue liquid into Chow and Lee's body. She could only staring at it. Knife slid it across the body. She finally died in pain. Her heart was taken out for the plutocrats to enjoy. Not only that, Gatling also ordered He Ziwu to kill Chow and Lee's family to cover her tracks. In the quiet laboratory, Chow and Le, who should have been dead, her body's abilities were recovering. It turned out that this man named Ben Ruan had saved her. To get out of Gatling's control, he secretly developed a kind of plant transplantation, which would activate every blood vessel with the plant heart as the core. In order to let the body have plant-like vitality, Chow and Le, the best experimental subject, Ben Ruan looked at Chow and Lee's slowly mutating body. He guessed she would be awake tomorrow. At this moment, the security came to report that He Ziwu had been kidnapped. The lab needed to be closed immediately, so Ben Ruan temporarily left the laboratory. Not so long after he left, Chow and Le woke up. She felt the changes in her body. The plant in the body seemed to respond to her heart. She could freely control it. She thought that this was rebirth given by God. Then she used the vine to tear down the curtain. Used it to cover that proud figure. She opened the lab's door with tiny vine. "Gatling, I, Chow and Le, will spend the rest of my life fighting you to the end." Inside an abandoned house, He Ziwu was tied up by Chow and Lee's father. There were several strong men surrounding him with guns. At this moment, 3 beauties walked in high heels. Then a group of armed men rushed in. Mr. Chow was about to step forward and ask for help. Unexpectedly, he was shot and killed. It turned out that they were soon bought by He Ziwu. Chow Ji reacted. He wanted to die with He Ziwu, only to find that his pistol had been tampered too. At this moment, behind him appeared a 6-fingered beauty. Her fingerprints gradually emerged on Chow Ji's face. Then he screamed and fell into a pool of blood. The others were also all killed by armed men. Seeing this, He Ziwu walked out of the house satisfied, and said to clean up the place. Just as the armed men cleared the scene, Chow and Le came. Seeing her father lying in a pool of blood, she was instantly furious. Suddenly a vine protruded from his body, wrapped around the neck of an armed man. Then the flowers with bloody mouths swooped on the armed men. With continuous screams, all armed men also fell in a pool of blood. On the other side, Gatling was still giving a passionate speech on the stage. There were 6 long-legged beauties behind. It turned out that Gatling wanted to rule out the city, gathered professional killers as an idol girl group. At this time, Chow and Le came to the scene, hidden in the cheers of the crowd. She was staring at those people on stage. Those people were the ones she had to kill. On her revenging road, Mai on stage suddenly gazed at Chow and Le with sharp eyes. Just when she thought she was recognized, the man behind her drew out the bazooka and fired. The men next to her also took out their AK-47s and fired wildly. Chow and Le was also injured. Wen immediately stood up to confront the mob. The thugs fled immediately. Wen chased them. Chow and Le fled to the woods in the chaos. She happened to overhear the conversation between Wen and the mob. It turned out that this was deliberately arranged by Gatling. The purpose was to give the newly established KAK girl group an opportunity to perform. Wen lightly exhaled evil spirits. The 2 thugs immediately fell to the ground in pain. Suddenly Wen turned to look at the woods and said, "I saw you, come out." Chow and Le couldn't run due to injuries, so she released piranhas to attack Wen. Wen also quickly let out evil spirits. In the next second, the piranha withered instantly. Then Wen walked towards Chow and Le. At this moment, the vines on Chow and Lee's body merged with the woods, made her unable to move. Wen rushed in front of Chow and Le, grabbed her shoulders and let out evil spirits. This evil spirit caused her constant pain. Just when she was about to give up, the big tree next to him moved and pushed Wen back. Chow and Le learned that she could control the entire forest with vines. At this point she had the absolute upper hand. By the time Wen realized it was too late, some big hands of trees pressed Wen to the ground, kept beating her. After defeating Wen, Chow and Le also collapsed due to poisonous gas intruding into her body. He Ziwu also came to the woods when he heard the movement. He found the traces of Wen's fight, but he didn't find Wen herself. He wondered if Wen was killed. At this time, he saw Ben Ruan's car running out of there. After a while, Chow and Le slowly woke up from the coma. It turned out that Ben Ruan arrived in time to save her, and told her that she had to regularly inject the medicine prevent growth. Otherwise, the plant heart in the body would continue to grow. Would substitute her body. He brought Chow and Le back to the lab. Told her the way plants heal themselves was water. Adequate water intake must be taken every day, in order to better the harmony with the plants in the body. At this moment, He Ziwu suddenly broke into the laboratory. In the next second, he grabbed Ben Ruan's neck and asked, "Why did you went to the woods?" And Ben Ruan was explaining. He Ziwu smelled a scent of flowers, then pulled aside the curtain. Unexpectedly, the bathtub was filled with flowers. He Ziwu brushed the flowers off to see inside the bathtub. The flowers suddenly spew pollen. It turned out that An was hiding in the bathtub, manipulated flowers to spew pollen. He Ziwu, who had a keen sense of smell, was severely allergic to pollen. Hurriedly escaped from the laboratory. In order to be safe, Chao En-la had to leave the lab as soon as possible. Ben Ruan installed a communicator on her, and told her that KAK had one less member now. And Gatling was sure to seek someone super capable to fill the void. The next step was to join them and become a member of the girl group. On the other side, Gatling was kneeling at the feet of a man. Unexpectedly, the man knocked her over with one kick. He wanted to send her for a vivisection. Then came in two men with a bull's head and a horse's face. Dragged Gatling out. After Gatling struggled to break free, hugged the man's thigh and begged for mercy. This man was the head of a KAK member company. Due to Gatling's mismanagement, let KAK have one less member. This made the leader very angry. In the end, the headmaster decided to let Gatling make amends, to find someone to fill the vacancy within 3 days. The next day, Sister Saw and Catwoman were driving home in a sports car. Suddenly a flower shop by the side of the road attracted his attention. Unexpectedly, in a city of science and technology with few trees, was there even a flower shop? Then Sister Saw drove to the flower shop. It turned out that this flower shop was opened by Chao En-la. At this time, Chao En-la in the flower shop was talking with Ben Ruan by a miniature earphone. She complained Ben Ruan if the method was reliable. Can a flower shop attract Sister Saw? Ben Ruan furtively lowered his voice and said, "Don't worry, Sister Saw often goes over that road. You just have to wait patiently." Then he told that it was not convenient for him to talk there. He would find a quiet place. However, at this time, He Ziwu behind him suddenly discovered his abnormality. He thought, what was Ben Ruan doing? Whispering to himself alone. Then he followed. Chao En-la in the flower shop was still worried that she didn't know how to reach them. Sister Saw and Catwoman came in proudly. Chao En-la could only rush forward and welcomed them. Sister Saw looked Chao En-la up and down, said that her flowers were really special, whether they were fake. Chao En-la showed Sister Saw her plant attributes. A gorgeous red rose was growing on her finger in an instant. Chao En-li's ability successfully aroused Sister Saw's interest. Sister Saw held the rose with her hand. Suddenly a blue flame burst, instantly burned red roses to black charcoal. Sister Saw sent the charred roses to Chao En-li's hand. Then she blew on the rose. In a blink of eye, a lifelike diamond rose appeared on Chao En-li's hand. Then Sister Saw said that she had no money with her. Take this as money to buy flowers. Chao En-la took the opportunity to say, this diamond could buy her entire store. Just in time, next week she would move to live in other place. Sister Saw thought she shouldn't let her go. This girl was perfect for KANK. She told her not need to move to other place. She would help her to join KAK. Chao En-la knew that she shouldn't accept immediately, so she pretended to be surprised and asked, "Am I good enough to join?" Sister Saw said yes, of course. But before that, you should change your dirty shoes. Then she whispered to Chao En-li's ear, I have a lot of collections at home. Do you want to go home with me? Chao En-la politely rejected an invitation to Sister Saw's house that night. At this time, Amy also came in from the outside and urged her sister. Gatling seemed to have urgent business with them. Sister Saw told Chao En-la, if you want to join the KAK girl group, wait for her here at the flower shop. Then Sister Saw walked out the door, and said she would take the flowers she bought tomorrow. After they left, Chao En-la suddenly started to have a fever and felt her body powerless. So she went to a nearby pharmacy and bought a pack of antipyretics. On the other side, Ben Ruan was stripped of his clothes and fell asleep on the bed. He Ziwu next to him unbuttoned his clothes, got close to Ben Ruan's body. He Ziwu grew fangs. He bit on Ben Ruan's neck. Then He Ziwu's hair started to change color. His body changed too. Then he turned to Ben Ruan's appearance. The call between Ben Ruan and Chao En-la was overheard by He Ziwu. He knew Chao En-li's plant attributes, but fortunately, their conversation didn't mention about Wen's death. Now, He Ziwu was suspecting that Wen's death was related to them, but he didn't have a clear evidence. He Ziwu took the opportunity to stun Ben Ruan, sucked his blood and became like him. He was going to meet the plant girl. When he found enough evidence to prove that Wen's death was Ben Ruan's fault, he killed both Ben Ruan and the plant girl. On the other side, Chao En-la received a message to her via a microsignal receiver from Ben Ruan. This was Ben Ruan before He Ziwu fainted him. You have to go at night. Replenish energy where there are plants or water. Otherwise you will get sick. Chao En-la was going to Rubik's Cube City, where were only woods. Chao En-la came to the woods. It was really comfortable. The body was also slowly recovering. She was still comfortably lying on the hammock she wove, replenishing energy. She didn't know that danger was approaching quietly. He Ziwu came to the woods in Ben Ruan's appearance. When she saw Ben Ruan came, Chao En-la was surprised. She remembered Ben Ruan told her He Ziwu had been in the company these 2 days. He was not so free. Chao En-la instantly became suspicious of the man in front of her. He Ziwu, who was in Ben Ruan's look, asked, have you cleaned Wen's body? He thought if she showed him the location of Wen's body, he would kill her in instant. Fortunately, Chao En-li's reaction was fast. She felt Ben Ruan was weird and different from usual. She told He Ziwu she didn't anyone named Wen at all. He Ziwu continued to talk. It was the girl with the braids and the leather jacket. Was she in the woods? Chow and Le said he did see this girl, but she saw her running towards the river. Then there were several gunshots. After He Ziwu heard that, he thought there might be someone else who was with A Wen. Even so, he couldn't let this girl alive. Just when He Ziwu was about to make a move, Chow and Le let a flower behind her fell on He Ziwu's face. He Ziwu immediately kept sneezing. Chow and Le now confirmed. Person in front of her was He Ziwu. Only He Ziwu was allergic to pollen. The clever Chow and Le saw through He Ziwu's disguise. She didn't panic, but decided to play tricks. Then she said, Ben Ruan, I don't understand why you always hide from He Ziwu. I know you care about him. You're also worried that he's going to have a high fever from pollen allergic. Told me to HLEP you buy antipyretics for him. As she spoke, she took out the pack of antipyretics. He Ziwu was moved when he saw it. People who have been coming and going were either afraid of him or hate him. He had already used it.